Wavelink has become one of those apps that quietly sits at the center of a lot of content creators' workflows. Your microphone, game audio, Discord, web browser, music, you name it, it all routes through it. And when it works, it feels amazing. Back in October when we first saw the preview of Wavelink 3.0, I was impressed, but I stopped and asked myself, how far could we really push it? Because as you know, content creators aren't just somebody that sits in a little command center. They could be somebody that's in a studio across the room, or honestly just have their hands full with something. In my case, making cookies.
Oh no, the mic's too loud. 1 second, 1 second.
Hey Siri, mute mic.
I created Wavelink Control so a more diverse set of creators' needs could be met wherever they are. With that being said, let's dive into a demo of Wavelink Control. The app has everything you'd come to expect out of a Wavelink companion experience. As you can see, all of your channels are here. There's live levels coming in. You can adjust the volume levels, the mute state, or expand the submixes list and individually adjust the volume on a per submix level or the mute state. Another really cool feature is this lock button, which will actually lock the UI so that you can't accidentally change the volume or the mute state of a mix or a submix. And turning that off, there's another really cool feature called scene mixes. And so we can come in here and add a gaming mix, and it'll actually save the state of the current UI. So then we can go in and adjust some levels, go ahead and adjust some submixes here. And then we go back and make another scene, and we'll call this streaming scene. And then if we go ahead and apply the gaming scene, everything will go back to what it was in the gaming scene. So then we go back to the streaming scene and it just works. And these are synced across all of your devices. So again, it works really well. Another really cool feature is the ability to sort based off the channels based off voice activity, so that the active voice channels are always on the top. That's pretty nice. And then another feature that we have is you can come in here to edit a channel. There's an easing ability where you can ease the volume over an amount of time. So it's not just on or off, it just gradually comes in and out. You can fade and mute. You can come in here and add other applications. So it'll fetch applications from your computer and list them into this list where you can go through and add. So I just added a couple, Codecs and Camo Studio. And then again, your personal mixes are here. And another really cool feature is if we take a look at the browsers one, your audio effects are actually here too, and you can control and turn them on or off from this interface as well. So that is Wavelink Control on iPhone, but I would love to talk about the iPad experience. So as you can see, Wavelink Control fully supports Apple's app shortcuts. There's a lot of useful actions in here, such as applying mix scenes, setting volumes, or toggling mute. These can be controlled or inactivated through Siri, Spotlight Search, and so many other facets of the operating system. But we're actually going to go ahead and create a new shortcut so we can dive in a little deeper. So if we scroll down to the Wavelink Control app, you'll then see a list of actions. And in here, they're actually categorized. So there's channels, hardware inputs, mix scenes, and submixes. We're going to go ahead and get started with the get channel state. And for that, we're going to select the music channel, which is actually going to pull in live information of the status of that channel. So things like the mute status, the volume rate, the amount of mixes it has, as well as the mix levels. This gives you a lot of utility down the road for a lot more seamless integrations. So we're going to go ahead and set the channel mute state. So we're going to select the game audio. And this is actually really cool because we can adjust it. So say over 0.75 seconds, so 3/4 of a second, we're going to ease in. And so on the right side of the screen, you're going to see it starts off slow, but it gains pace the closer it gets to the end. So you can actually build some really unique faders for your audio streams on a per channel or submix basis, which is just really, really powerful stuff. Outside of that, we can actually set the hardware input state. So I'm actually going to select my Wave 3 microphone, which I'm talking into right now. So when I run this, it's actually going to mute. You won't be able to hear me, but I'm going to go ahead and show it for demo. And just like that, I toggled it back. My mic's back. You can hear me. It's really awesome for situations where you're across the room, maybe in a studio space, an office, or across the house. Like, this gives you a lot of utility. That's just really cool. So then one more thing we'll take a look at real quick is the mix scenes. So we can actually get the mix scene state, and it'll actually see if we're on a current scene, which, as you can tell, we are not, because we have adjusted things. So we can actually come back into here and apply a mix scene. So in this case, we'll apply the streaming set, and I'm just going to adjust some of these levels so that you can see this a little more drastically. And I'll go ahead and run the shortcut, and as you can see, all of our levels are restored back to what they were when we set. And again, those synced from the iPhone earlier over here to this iPad, which just gives you some really powerful stuff. So then that's kind of the shortcuts facet. There's a lot more depth here. We're just barely scratching the surface, but I hope that seems useful to you. Outside of that, there's of course widgets. And again, that does the useful stuff where you can come in here and mute channels. You can set mixed presets from here. There's also control center widgets. We can come in here and mute your mic. I just muted my mic. You can mute the chat mix. You can get sub mixes. All of that stuff just works here. It's some really, really powerful stuff. It meets you no matter where you are. Any surface that you have, any mobile device, iPad, iPhone, Mac, you name it. So that is wavelength control in a nutshell. As I said, we are just barely scratching the surface of what's possible with this software, but I'm excited for you to finally get hands-on. You could download the app in the TestFlight link down below. I would love to hear your thoughts, and maybe you have future requests. So go ahead and shoot me a message. I'd love to hear them. Until next time, send a link going dark. Peace.